Yeah, our program is today about the Muhajir or refugees. That we have to understand and generally what is the Muhajirin, why they do the person to go to another place to change their life, and also about when was it started. Now the starting point of Hijrat and Muhajiran is from long time. It is, even though probably the time of the early generation of Adam will start from one place to other place, is called Muhajir. Then the time when written is come out, and then start the history on it, because then written without documentary, we cannot say when the Hijrat was starting. But we know, according to the verse of Quran, a lot of story is the one tribes, one kind of people is mentioned in Quran. But the historic point of view, the first Muhajir and to write today's, which we consider should be believed, there is no doubt about it, is the history is come out about, let's say, about 6,000 years before Christ. That was the Muhajir was the history was the Zoroastrian or the sun worshipper. Then there was call it Aryan all around the cover from Iraq to Europe to Middle East and this all. And then later on was when the human being is expand, and they took each place by their own tribes. However, for the reason of to invite more people there and on their religions, they go for the invitation to ask the people, come with us. This is the good deen. Even from the Buddhist, before was there was Buddhist all around. After the Zoroastrian, after that the second religion come. The religion was the Buddhism, and that Buddhist was traveled to all around. That is to spread the Buddhist to everyone has some kind of God's understanding to there is a God, and the fitrat of each human being has already in to looking for God, for the big power, no matter what kind of people they are, what kind of belief every human being has it, but still they are looking for the biggest one. Like Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, that when he saw that their father was the statues maker, and he said, well, how come everybody worship different statues? And but he denied. He said, this is not, all of them is weak. I have to go to the big power, to looking for the big power. So that was Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide him. Finally he found it. And the religion of the Buddhist, and then from even in the middle area side of the world, if it's Aryan, and then it started there too. And then in Afghanistan, the big two statues which you see, call it Buddha. And then these people also traveled to the south side, and even go to the until Far East, to the Indian, then become Buddhist, and then after to go to the forest, to Japan, and then those places, for the reason of the religion mostly. They took, when they moved, for some kind of good weather or some kind of other, but still they took the religion with them. So become, it's all Buddhist. About 4,000 years, the monotheist idea of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam started at that time. And then at the same time, the famine of the Canaan was come out, and the people was refuged from the Canaan to the Egyptian at that time, when the Egyptian was called the Pharaoh. Duration all was good places that were there, and the people was moved there. And that time the parents of Musa alayhi salam Musa alayhi salam was born in the Egyptian, but of course then Allah will give him the highly degree for as a prophet, Musa alayhi salam, even though he was born in Egypt, but he was not, their parents was not from the Egypt, and he was a Muhajir. They are accepted as Muhajirin. And then same thing also, these are all about the history is mentioned, Torah is mentioned, what they are, they start the Hijrat before the reason of the famine of the country, or kind of problem that was no any good the condition. Mostly the bad condition person has to be refuge from the place, because this all the honor of all the universe is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is no difference inside of Allah which place to go you go. You are, when Allah let you as a human being free, you can do whatever you want. So if you see something is not suitable for you, you can change it, you can do other. But at the same time, anything that you do, there is a rule and regulation on it, to do to the constitution, to do to the bylaws, which we say in Quran, all of them is the just same thing. Allah tell you to do this, to do not do this. So even though you can do whatever you want, but still the highly recommendation is this, because of the one who is a mu'min, again, he believe in the hereafter, and he believe the person that whatever I do, I have to be answered for those my actions. So that was the one way Allah let you to be free, but at the same time you are responsible. However, this is about the history was so far, but in the first mention it in the documentary that the first refugee or immigrant was from the Russian to the America, according to the one of the company, Iraq Alert. This company was issued some as information that the researcher, they found when the dead bone from one of the girl that she was a red skin, according to DNA they shows, and then these as many people was, and they are the Alaska somewhere they found them, and they are all of them was not match anything into the native of the American. It means, it shows that these people was the first immigrant which they came there. And that was the year was, they mentioned it, 11,500 years ago. So, and these are, we can say, these are the first Muhajirat, and according to the documentary of DNA, which was edited in that, even in Facebook, this is the information I got from Facebook. But it was in 2013. However, these are all from then 6,000 years, that about the Zoroastrian was Muhajirat, made a Muhajirat, and then after that the 4,000 or 3,800, the time of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, and then after that Musa alayhi salam, and then also until the death of the Alexander Jewish. Those are also as by for the to look for the power, the Greek, the old Greek. So these are all the documentary about the immigrants. And about the religious point of view, that also the immigrants, the first about the Dawood alayhi salam and the Sulaiman alayhi salam, and that time was started the immigration from those their people, their followers. Regards of the fighting, regards of the, again, about the power and religion, and so they are divided by two, north and south, in Israel at that time. And the Jewish, of course, there's most of these, they are the children of Abraham alayhi salatu wasalam. And for example, the Judah, one of the grandchild of Ibrahim sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then he became a very powerful man, and he wrote a constitution that everyone's supposed to be follow this rule, and then teach their children to be not different way, exactly the same thing that the constitution is written. However, what was that? To be fighter, to be stand up and don't worry about any other things, only the things. You have to be the boss. You have to be not under the rule of anybody's. This is the reason their children, it was like this. And that was the time of this, until the King Saul was, until that time, this was, the people was divided, and then finally still that the idea of the Judah was the inside of the one way or one tribes. And then was some of them must go to Europe, like very nice people, still the Muhajirin, and the same from the same Jewish, and some people was go to south to Indian and the continent, and then south of Khorasan of Afghanistan today. And these are the time of Sulaiman alayhi salam was. They lived there, but these are very fighty. There is kind of low education, but those are to go to the other one was very soft, but still Muhajir from the same race of Jewish. And these kind of people was so much rough and tough. So what they did, and then they go to each places and fight, and then they kill the owner of the house, and then they put their name on themselves. So these are in the Kashmir area, and then those area. That's what she did, that according to the history. However, this Muhajirin is just like that was. And I give you one more break, and inshallah I will come back about the Quranic, which Allah said about the Muhajirin. Inshallah I will talk with you after the break.